whatever .9 that Superstars is getting as we speak. Do you think Vince will ever do something? I know he can afford to do something like that, but would he do something like that, or is that just out of the question?
No, because 1.0, you're not going to get that on HBO. Even you can put Raw on HBO, you're not going to get a 1.0. I mean, a good rating on HBO is like, oh, we had 800,000 viewers tonight, unless you're The Sopranos or something crazy like Sex and the City.
Exactly.
But also, I think Vince is more of a cable TV, and if he can get it, network TV guy. I don't think he wants to be a premium cable TV.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's also premium cable. I mean, not everybody. HBO and Showtime, you have to order that specifically. I mean, that doesn't come, at least not here, that doesn't come as a part of your normal cable package. It's not your basic cable package where you get those, you get the 60 or 70 channels that they give you. That's an add-on to your cable bill, HBO and Showtime. At least here it is.
Everywhere it is. But, I mean, you got WWE on pay-per-view. They've got their on-demand. They've got internet stuff, they've got network TV stuff, they've got cable TV stuff. The only thing they don't have is premium cable, and for that very reason. It's not worth it. What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do on there that's edgy that they can't do on pay-per-view or on, cable TV? There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, thank you, guys.
All right, be good, Sally. Boone. I lost Boone. Boone, are you here, buddy?
Thank you.
Sorry about that, dude. Almost lost you there for a sec. I apologize for the chat problems, guys. I know.
I know.
Well, I'm looking at the chat now, and there's only a couple in there, and I've tried to get back in, and it takes me several tries. So
it's locked up again.
Well, yeah, and we have a live stream up on all the websites, so people are probably listening there. But the chat room is just completely gone wild on us tonight. It's actually not on our end. It's on TalkShoe's, and we're going to have to email them over the next week or two, and we'll try to get it worked on. But so I apologize for the chat problems. But UFC 100, Callie, thanks for the calls as well. Always good questions there. But let's run down UFC 100, Matty B, and do some predictions. What do you think, man?
All right. I guess we'll start with the bottom up. The opening bout should be, they might shift up the order of the fights, but we'll just go with what I got here. Yoshihiro Akiyama versus Alan the Talent Belcher. We already talked about Akiyama earlier. Alan Belcher's the guy that beat Dennis Kang, and he's had some other big wins on his record. He's a solid guy. I got to go with Akiyama, though. It's pretty much they're giving him a guy that if he's as good as they want him to be, I'm talking about Akiyama, he should be able to handle Belcher, and it's an impressive name to handle on your debut. But if he's not, Alan Belcher's enough of a mid-card guy that with a win over Akiyama, they could do something with Alan instead of just having a complete bust, Now,
the thing about Alan is I've seen a few of his last few fights, but I don't remember enough about him to say, this guy's definitely going to win. And then you put over, what's his name, Akiyama. You've put over him pretty big, so I'll probably just take your word on this one and say Akiyama.
You can't be sure though, because Dennis Kang was Alan Belcher's last fight, and it was the same exact thing. They thought Dennis Kang was going to be their new big deal in the middleweight division, so they put him against a tough mid-card guy like Alan. So he should beat him, and then that's a nice win for him to keep moving on with. But if he loses, they're not having him lose to a jobber that they can't do nothing with, which is what happened. He lost, and now they're trying to do something with Alan. So you can't. He's the spoiler. You never know. He could ruin the fun.
If it's a close fight, like you say it is, we'll make it interesting. I'll go Belcher because I know Alan Belcher from. From a few of his last fights, and I don't know. I've never even seen the other guy. I've never heard of him or anything like that. So, I'll go Belcher just to make it interesting and kind of switch it up. You know what I mean? But I'll say Belcher. You say Akiyama.
Akiyama, yes. Next fight, right. The coaches of the Ultimate Fighter 9 was it this year? Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping, not Bing, Bisping. Who do we got?
Oh, man, dude. I hate Bisping, so, coming off the reality show, Bisping, he's under my skin a little bit, and I like the cool, chilled-out guy, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I think Bisping's going to win the fight, but I got to root for Henderson. I got to root for the cool, calm, collective guy, you know what I mean? To just go out there and just beat that prick's ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the way to put it, but I think I think Bisping wins the fight, but I'm pulling for Henderson, without a doubt.
All right, I don't see Bisping having a chance in hell. I think Henderson smashes him.
Really?
He used to be, Christ, he was the only guy to hold 2 belts. He was the Pride middleweight and welterweight champion, knocked off Vanderlei Silva.
What was the last fight I saw of Henderson's that he lost?
He won. He beat Rich Franklin to become the coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah, it was a close fight, but no, he won, and that's like one of his only real big wins in the UFC. But they've given him guys like Rampage, Anderson Silva, and he looked good in both fights. He went the distance with Rampage, lost a split decision, very close fight that some people thought he won. Anderson, he won round 1 in that fight. The only guy that ever went around against Anderson, and then he got choked out in the second round. But no, I see Henderson winning. But like you said, I'm gonna go the exact opposite and say I hope Bisping wins. Not because I like him, because I agree. I think he came off like a prick this season on The Ultimate Fighter. But Henderson's already fought Anderson Silva and lost, so there's no money in a rematch there, and there's no hope that he could win, even though I think he could if they gave him another shot at Anderson. But Bisping is like the only name in the middleweight division that hasn't got a chance, because otherwise Anderson's pretty much cleaned out the division. They're looking at a rematch with Nate Marquardt for him now if he gets past Forrest Griffin. So Bisping would be a fresh, big-name star to fight Anderson, and that'd be a good fight because they're both strikers. So hopefully Bisping wins, but I got to give it to Henderson. I think he'll smash him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think Bisping wins, but I want Henderson.
He could. He definitely could. I mean, he's only lost 1 fight in his career, and that was to Rashad Evans, and that was a close fight. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this entire card is just. I mean, I'm looking at a card with the undercard fights here as well, man. With that Mark Coleman and Stephan Bonnar fight, which is crazy. I mean, who you got in that for an undercard fight?
Stephan Bonnar for sure. Yeah.
Stephan Bonnar, yeah, no doubt. Mark Coleman looked. Was it his last fight that he looked horrible? Yeah, it had to be. I think it was his last fight.
No, his last fight he fought Shogun. He actually looked really good, but he gassed like he always does, and then started looking, terrible by the end of it.
Yeah, that's what it was. He gasses real quick.
Yeah, he's done that his whole career. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. See,
actually, I was just watching a shoot interview with Kurt Angle for RF Video. It was 2008, and he was talking about his Olympic, how he got to the gold medal, and he said he was having trouble with 2 guys, and he said we would throw him 2 MMA fighters, the Smashing Machine Mark Kerr and Mark the Hammer Coleman, and he said he realized something when watching him, which was that he couldn't just beat him head on, but he realized that Coleman gets tired, so if he could draw him into the later rounds of the amateur wrestling match, he would get tired and beat him, which is exactly what happened. And his whole career, Mark Coleman has been famous for getting tired and losing. There's that famous head kick. I don't know if you've ever seen it in some of the highlight packages. He's right up against the cage, and Petey Williams kicks him right in the face, and his eyes go crooked, and he just kind of slumps back. But, yeah, he's always known for getting tired and then losing.
Yeah, gassing real quick, man. That may be the reason. I forgot about that with Coleman. That may be the reason.
And he's old.
They didn't want to. Yeah, he looks old too. You know what I mean?
He's in his 40s. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they just maybe they just didn't want a boring fight. They thought the other fight with God, what was his name again? Akiyama.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought that would be, try to build up that star, try to make him a star.
Well, it's that, and they think they'll attract a lot more international pay-per-view buy rates, because he's one of those guys that's like a big star in Japan and in the Asian market. So they just think, we'll attract Asian viewers, by showcasing this guy. Next fight is John Fitch versus Paulo Thiago. You might not remember Paulo Thiago. He fought Josh Koscheck on the last, what was it? It was UFC in England when they had Diego Sanchez versus Joe Stevenson. That was an undercard fight, and Paulo Thiago, still undefeated, knocked out Josh Koscheck in that fight. So that's how a lot of people know him. He'll be fighting John Fitch, who is, basically the best welterweight that UFC has that isn't wearing a belt right now, like George St. Pierre. So I got to go Fitch in that one, but I don't know enough about Thiago to know if he's got a chance or not. I personally don't see him having a chance.
I got to go Fitch, dude, just because we saw him live, you know what I mean? And he looked, well, when we saw him, he won, right?
He beat Akihiro Gono. He had the longest odds of the night.
That's that Gomi guy. Gomi, that was...
Gono.
Yeah.
That's
the one. See, you got all these names, man. You're bringing me into this sport, man. And you got the Strike Force, and you got the UFC's, the Elite XC. A lot of fighters, you know what I mean? I got the top names down, so I'm all right, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, next fight, For the welterweight title, George St. Pierre defending against Thiago Alves. What do we got, man?
Oh, man, dude, I got to go GSP, dude. Remember the last fight with the greasing allegations and all that shit, dude. But I got to go GSP with this one. But Thiago Alves, I mean, like you said, what you said earlier, that he basically claimed that he was going to knock George St. Pierre out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, GSP, dude. Gee, I mean, what do you? It's close. I mean, Thiago Alvarez is no joke.
Thiago Alvarez, he's a good fighter, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who?
Just stop.
Thiago Alves. No, he is. He's damn good. I mean, he just